Imagine waking up every day with a knot in your head, constantly bending over backwards to please others, feeling invisible and unappreciated. You perform the polite dance, a dance that never seems to end with your true desires. Your authentic self remains imprisoned, suffocated by the constant need to be nice. But what if I told you that this is a prison? Prison that prevents you from reaching your true potential, being respected and living an authentic and powerful life. Think about the times you suppress your true thoughts, your honest opinions, just to avoid conflict or to be seen as nice. How many opportunities have been lost because you chose the safe path of niceness instead of asserting your true self? This behavior, while seemingly harmless, can slowly erode your sense of self, leaving you with a life that feels unfulfilled and inauthentic. It is a quiet despair, a gnawing despair that makes you wonder if you will ever escape the shackles of inauthenticity. Inauthenticity is often misunderstood. It is a virtue, a sign of good character, but it can actually be a mask, facade that hides our true nature. Ancient philosophers such as Seneca and Epictetus warned of the dangers of conforming to societal expectations at the expense of our own values and happiness. They believed that true power lies in authenticity and self-respect, not in placation. Seneca, a Roman Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively on the importance of living according to one's true nature. He argued that to live a fulfilling life, one must be guided by reason and virtue, rather than by the whims of public opinion. The strongest person is the one who has his own power, Seneca famously stated, emphasizing the importance of self-mastery and authenticity by prioritizing kindness over our true feelings. We give up this power and become prisoners of others. Expects Epictetus, another famous Stoic philosopher, who taught that we should only focus on what is within our control and accept what is not. By constantly trying to be kind, we try to control the perceptions and reactions of others. Feudalistic effort only leads to frustration and loss of self. It is not what happens to you, how you react to it that matters. Epictetus advised emphasizing the importance of inner resilience and authenticity over external validation. Chapter 1: The Roots of Kindness. To understand why we are taught to be kind, we must dig deep into our past from an early age. We are taught to be agreeable in order to avoid conflict and seek approval. This conditioning begins in childhood, when we learn that being nice brings rewards, praise, acceptance, love. But this reward system is flawed. It teaches us to value the opinions of others over our own, fear rejection and disapproval, and to prioritize external validation over internal fulfillment. Family influences, family dynamics, play a major role in shaping our behavior. Many of us grow up in environments where being nice is considered good. We are praised for being submissive, for sharing, for putting the needs of others before our own. While these lessons are well-intentioned, they can create a deep-seated belief that our worth is dependent on pleasing others. Parents often reinforce this behavior, sometimes unconsciously. A child who asserts himself may be labeled as difficult or rebellious, while a child who is submissive is praised as easygoing. This dichotomy teaches us to suppress our true feelings, avoid negative labels, and gain approval over time. We internalize these lessons, creating a closed-off habit that lasts into adulthood. The role of education, the education system, deeper imprints, the importance of being kind schools, rewarding conformity and obedience, often at the expense of individuality and critical thinking. We are taught to follow the rules of raising your hand before speaking, working quietly, and not disturbing others. While these guidelines are necessary to maintain order, they can also stifle self-expression and assertiveness. Teachers, like parents, often praise students who are obedient and cooperative, reinforcing this idea. Kindness is synonymous with goodness. This creates a fear of standing out for being different or challenging the status quo. We learn to prioritize fitting in over expressing our true selves, perpetuating the cycle of societal expectations of kindness. Society plays a major role in perpetuating the kindness myth. We are bombarded with messages that kindness equals kindness, and the media and even our social circles reinforce this idea. Being liked is more important than being respected. But this societal expectation is a trap. It causes us to suppress our true feelings, to avoid setting boundaries and compromising our values for the sake of conformity. Consider how kind characters are portrayed in popular culture. They are often portrayed as likable and likable, while assertive characters are often portrayed as aggressive or unlikable. This dichotomy creates a false narrative. Insecurity is inherently good, and assertiveness is inherently bad. It teaches us to fear being seen as rude or confrontational, leading us to prioritize kindness over authenticity. Philosophical insights. The Stoics understood the importance of self-respect and integrity. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote about the importance of living by one's values, rather than seeking approval from others. He emphasized that true happiness comes from within, not from external validation. By trying to be kind, we are essentially giving up our power, allowing others to determine our self-worth. Marcus Aurelius urged us to stop wasting time arguing about what a good man should be. This directive encourages us to focus on our own values and actions, rather than seeking validation from others. It reminds us that our worth is not determined by how others perceive us, but by how we live our principles. The teachings of these philosophers highlight the timeless truth that true power and fulfillment come from within. By understanding the roots of our conditioning, we can begin to break free of the false beliefs that keep us trapped in the prison of ignorance. We can reclaim our power to assert our true selves and live lives of authenticity and integrity. Chapter 2. Price of kindness. Kindness comes at a high price. It can lead to draining resentment and loss of identity. When we continually prioritize the needs of others over our own, we neglect our own health and personal growth. We become passive participants in our own lives, drifting aimlessly, rather than directing ourselves towards emotional exhaustion. Constant kindness is exhausting. It takes a lot of emotional labor to maintain a pleasant appearance, especially when it contradicts our true feelings. This can lead to emotional exhaustion, characterized by chronic stress, anxiety, and depression. We become mentally and physically drained as we struggle to maintain a mask of weakness. Emotional exhaustion is more than just feeling tired. It is a deep sense of exhaustion that affects every aspect of our lives. We may find it difficult to concentrate, find joy in activities we once enjoyed, or muster the energy to pursue our goals. This exhaustion can affect our relationships, our work, and our overall sense of well-being. Burnout also weakens our resilience, making us more susceptible to stress and less able to cope with challenges. When we are constantly kind, we deplete our emotional reserves, leaving us vulnerable to feelings of hopelessness and helplessness. We may begin to question our worth and our ability to achieve our dreams, further eroding feelings of self-resentment and anger as we suppress our true feelings in order to please others. Resentment builds over time. This resentment can manifest as anger, bitterness, and a sense of injustice. We begin to see ourselves as victims trapped in a cycle of self-sacrifice and lack of appreciation. This not only damages our relationships, but also erodes our self-esteem and sense of self-worth. Resentment is a toxic emotion that can poison our minds and our relationships. It can cause us to view others with suspicion and hostility, even when they have done nothing wrong. We may become passive-aggressive, expressing our anger indirectly through sarcasm, procrastination, or withdrawal. This behavior only perpetuates the cycle of resentment, leading to further conflict and dissatisfaction. Unresolved anger can also lead to physical health problems. Chronic anger and resentment are linked to increased risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and other stress-related illnesses. By holding on to these negative emotions, we are not only harming our mental health, but also our physical health. Perhaps the most costly cost of having no identity is the loss of identity. By constantly conforming to the expectations of others, we lose touch with our own desires, values, and aspirations, becoming self-absorbed people who want to fit in rather than stand out. This leads to a deep sense of emptiness and a lack of direction in life. When we prioritize identity loss, we suppress our true selves, creating a disconnect between who we truly are and who we present to the world. This dissonance can lead to feelings of confusion and uncertainty about our true identity. We may find ourselves wondering who we really are and what we really want. These questions can be difficult to answer when we have spent so much time trying to please others. Loss of identity also affects our ability to make decisions and set goals without a clear sense of self. we may struggle to identify our values and priorities, making it difficult to chart a course for the future. We may feel adrift, lacking a sense of purpose and direction, and uncertain about how to move forward in our philosophical understanding. Philosophers throughout history have recognized the importance of living authentically and the dangers of sacrificing ourselves to please others. Friedrich Nietzsche, a German philosopher, wrote extensively on the concept of slave morality, in which individuals conform to societal norms and expectations, suppressing their true selves in the process. Nietzsche believed that true power comes from embracing one's individuality and rejecting the constraints of conformity. Nietzsche's concept of the Überman or overman represents an individual who has transcended societal norms and expectation. Living authentically and fully, the overman is not bound by the need to be nice or seek approval from others, but is guided by their own values and principles. This idea challenges us to break free from the constraints of mediocrity and embrace our true potential. Jean-Paul Sartre, French existentialist philosopher, also emphasized the importance of authenticity. He argued that we have the freedom to choose our own actions and define our own values rather than conforming to societal expectations. Sartre believed that living authentically requires us to take responsibility for our choices and embrace our liberated freedom, even when it is difficult or uncomfortable. By recognizing the cost of kindness and the importance of authenticity, we can begin to make changes in our lives. We can reclaim our identity, set healthy boundaries, and prioritize our well-being. This journey requires courage and self-awareness, but it leads to a life of fulfillment and purpose. Chapter 3. Power of Authenticity. Authenticity is the antidote to kindness. It is the courage to be true to yourself, set boundaries, and live by your values. Authenticity is not being rude or selfish. It is being honest and respectful to yourself and others, accepting who you really are. Embracing authenticity means accepting yourself as you are, with all your strengths and weaknesses. It means acknowledging your true desires and aspirations, rather than suppressing them to fit in. This requires self-awareness and self-acceptance, which is the foundation of a fulfilling and meaningful life. Self-awareness involves understanding your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. It means recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, passions and fears, your values and beliefs by developing self-awareness. You can gain a better understanding of what motivates and holds you back, allowing you to make conscious choices that are in line with your true self. Self-acceptance, on the other hand, involves accepting your flaws and being kind to yourself. It means recognizing that you are a work in progress and that it is okay to make mistakes and have flaws. Self-acceptance allows you to let go of the need for perfection and focus on growth and improvement. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is an important aspect of authenticity. It involves saying no when necessary, asserting your needs and rights, and protecting your personal space and well-being. Boundaries are not barriers. They are expressions of self-respect and self-care. By setting boundaries, we teach others how to treat us and create healthy, balanced relationships. Boundaries can take many forms, from physical boundaries that protect your personal space to emotional boundaries, protect your mental health. Setting boundaries involves defining what is and is not acceptable behavior, and clearly communicating your limits to others. This takes courage and assertiveness, but it is essential to maintaining healthy relationships and protecting your well-being. Living by your values. Living authentically means aligning your actions with your values. It means making choices that reflect your true beliefs and principles rather than succumbing to external pressures. This takes courage and integrity, but it leads to a life of purpose and fulfillment. When we live authentically, we experience a deep sense of satisfaction and inner peace, knowing that we are being true to ourselves. Identifying your values involves reflecting on what is truly important to you. This can include examining your beliefs, goals, and aspirations, and considering how they align with your actions in living your values, which requires you to make conscious choices that reflect your true priorities, even when they are difficult or uncomfortable. Philosophical insights. The concept of authenticity has been explored by many philosophers throughout history. Søren Kierkegaard, an existentialist philosopher, emphasized the importance of living authentically and making choices that reflect one's true nature. He believed that true fulfillment comes from embracing our individuality and rejecting the constraints of social norms. Kierkegaard's concept of the leap of faith represents the courage to live authentically, even in the face of uncertainty and fear. This idea challenges us to embrace our freedom and make choices that are in line with our true nature, rather than conforming to external expectations. Albert Camus, a French existentialist philosopher, also explored the concept of authenticity in his essay, The Myth of Copus. Camus argues that life is inherently absurd and that we must create our own authentic meaning and purpose in life, according to Camus, which involves accepting this absurdity and making choices that reflect our true values and beliefs. By embracing authenticity, we can escape the constraints of untruth and live a life of fulfillment and purpose. This journey requires courage, self-awareness, and a commitment to living in accordance with our true nature, but it leads to a life of true freedom and empowerment. Chapter 4: The Power of Assertiveness. Assertiveness is the key to escaping the prison of untruth. It is the ability to express yourself openly and honestly, without fear of rejection or disapproval. Assertiveness is not about being aggressive or confrontational, but about standing up for yourself and communicating effectively. The art of assertive communication. Assertive communication involves expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs clearly and respectfully. It requires initiative, listening, empathy, and confidence. By communicating assertively, we build trust and respect in our relationships, and we avoid misunderstandings and conflict. Active listening involves fully engaging with the other person. You are communicating by paying attention to their words, body language, and emotion. It means being present and paying attention rather than thinking about your response or being distracted by practicing the action. Listening can build rapport and understanding, making communication easier. Assertive empathy involves understanding and acknowledging the feelings and perspectives of others. It means putting yourself in their shoes and considering their perspective on you. By practicing empathy, you can communicate with compassion and respect, making it easier to express your own needs and boundaries. Confidence includes believing in your worth and your ability to communicate effectively. It means trusting yourself to handle difficult conversations and asserting your needs and rights. By building confidence, you can overcome your fear of rejection or disapproval and communicate assertively. Overcome the fear of conflict. Fear of conflict is one of the main reasons people struggle with assertiveness. We fear rejection, disapproval, and negative consequences. But conflict is a natural part of human interaction, and avoiding it only leads to unresolved issues and resentment. By viewing conflict as an opportunity for growth and understanding, we can navigate it with confidence and grace. Conflict can be uncomfortable, but it is also an opportunity for growth and learning. It allows us to resolve issues, clear up misunderstandings, and strengthen our relationships by approaching conflict with an open mind and a willingness to understand. We can navigate it with confidence and grace, building self-confidence. Confidence is the foundation of assertiveness. It comes from knowing your worth and believing in your abilities. Confidence is not about being perfect. It is about being comfortable with who you are and believing you can handle it. No matter what happens to you, by building self-confidence, we empower ourselves to live authentically and assertively. Building self-confidence involves recognizing your strengths and achievements and celebrating your successes. It means focusing on your positive qualities and acknowledging your progress, instead of focusing on your mistakes or shortcomings. By cultivating a positive self-image, you can build the confidence to communicate assertively and live authentically. Philosophical insights. The concept of assertiveness has been explored by many philosophers throughout history. Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, emphasized the importance of finding a balance between extremes. He argued that virtue lies in the golden ratio, balance between deficiency and excess in the context of assertiveness. This means finding a balance between passivity and aggression and communicating with confidence and respect. Aristotle's concept of amonia, or flourishing, represents the idea of living a fulfilling and meaningful life. He believed that this required living according to one's values and principles, and cultivating virtues such as courage, honesty, and integrity. By practicing assertiveness, we can cultivate these virtues and live a fulfilling and purposeful life. Friedrich Nietzsche also emphasized the importance of assertiveness and self-assertion. He argued that true power comes from embracing one's individuality and rejecting the constraints of conformity. Nietzsche believed that we must assert our true selves, even in the face of opposition or rejection. To reach our full potential, by practicing assertiveness, we can break free from the constraints of inconsistency and live a life of authenticity and integrity. This requires courage, confidence, and a commitment to effective and respectful communication, but it leads to a truly free and empowered life. Chapter 5. The Journey of Self-Discovery. The journey of stopping being kind is a journey of self-discovery. It involves self-inquiry, reflection, and personal growth. It requires us to face our fears, challenge our beliefs, and accept ourselves for who we really are. Self-inquiry and reflection. Self-inquiry and reflection are essential to the process of self-discovery. They allow us to examine our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors and gain a deeper understanding of who we really are by taking the time to reflect on our experiences and learn from them. We can identify patterns and make conscious choices that are consistent with our values and goals. Introspection involves looking within and examining your thoughts, feelings, and motivation. What does it mean to ask yourself questions like, what do I really want, and what are my values and priorities? By taking time to reflect on these questions, you can gain a deeper understanding of who you really are and make conscious choices that are aligned with your values and goals. Reflection involves looking back at your experiences and learning from them. It means considering what went well and what could be improved, and using this understanding to make better choices in the future. By reflecting on your experiences, you can identify patterns and make conscious choices that lead to growth and improvement. Embracing change is an essential part of the journey of self-discovery. It requires us to let go of old habits and beliefs and adopt new ways of thinking and being, which can be challenging and uncomfortable, but is essential for personal growth and development. Embracing change involves being open to new experiences and perspectives, and being willing to step out of your comfort zone. It means letting go of the need for certainty and control, and embracing the unknown, curiosity, courage. By embracing change, you can create new opportunities for growth and self-discovery, personal growth and development. Personal growth and development are ongoing processes that require commitment and effort. They include setting goals, taking action, and learning from your experiences. By focusing on your personal growth, you can continually improve yourself and reach your full potential. Self-development involves setting goals that are aligned with your values and aspirations, and taking action to achieve them. It means being proactive and taking responsibility for your own development, rather than waiting for others to change or circumstances to improve. By focusing on your own development, you can continually improve yourself and reach your full potential. Philosophical insight. The journey of self-discovery has been explored by many philosophers throughout history. Socrates, a Greek philosopher, once famously said, "Know thyself." He believed that self-knowledge is the foundation of wisdom and virtue. By taking the time to reflect on our thoughts, feelings, and behavior, we can gain a deeper understanding of who we really are and make conscious choices that lead to a fulfilling and purposeful life. Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, who also emphasized the importance of self-discovery, he believed that true fulfillment comes from integrating the different aspects of our being. It and the acceptance of our true selves, Jung's concept of individuation, represent the process of self-discovery and personal growth, where we become more aware of our true selves and align our actions with our values and aspirations. By embarking on a journey of self-discovery, we can break free from the constraints of needs and live a life of authenticity and integrity. This journey requires courage, self-examination, and a commitment to personal growth, but it leads to a life of true freedom and fulfillment. Chapter 6. Cultivating inner strength. Cultivating inner strength is essential to escaping the prison of inadequacy. It involves developing resilience, self-confidence, and a sense of purpose. By cultivating inner strength, we empower ourselves to live authentically and build resilience. Resilience is the ability to overcome adversity and adapt to change. It involves developing a positive mindset, coping with stress, and maintaining a sense of hope and optimism. By building resilience, we can overcome challenges with confidence and grace. Building resilience involves developing a positive mindset and focusing on the opportunities and lessons in every situation. This means seeing challenges as opportunities to grow and learn, rather than as obstacles to avoid. By cultivating a positive mindset, you can build resilience to overcome challenges with confidence and grace. Coping with stress involves developing healthy coping mechanisms and self-care practices. This can include physical activities such as exercise and relaxation techniques, as well as mental and emotional activities such as mindfulness and meditation. By developing healthy coping mechanisms, you can manage stress and maintain a sense of balance and well-being. Maintaining a sense of hope and optimism involves focusing on the positive aspects of life and believing in your ability to overcome challenges. It means cultivating a sense of purpose and meaning, and staying connected to your values and aspirations. By maintaining a sense of hope and optimism, you can build resilience to overcome challenges with confidence and grace. Developing self-confidence is the belief in your worth and abilities. It involves trusting yourself to handle it, whatever comes your way, and believe in your ability to achieve your goals. By developing self-confidence, we empower ourselves to live authentically and assertively. Developing self-confidence involves recognizing your strengths and achievements and celebrating your successes. It means focusing on your positive qualities and acknowledging your progress. Instead of dwelling on your mistakes or shortcomings, by cultivating a positive self-image, you can build the confidence to communicate, be assertive, and live authentically. Self-confidence also involves setting and achieving goals that are consistent with your values and aspirations. By setting realistic and achievable goals, you can build a sense of accomplishment and self-confidence. This will build your self-confidence and empower you to take on new challenges and opportunities. Finding purpose and meaning is essential to cultivating inner strength. It involves identifying your values and aspirations and aligning your actions with them. By finding purpose and meaning, we create a sense of direction and fulfillment in our lives. Finding purpose and meaning involves reflecting on your values and aspirations and considering how they align with your actions. It means setting goals that reflect your true priorities and taking action to achieve them. By finding purpose and meaning, you can create a sense of direction and fulfillment in your life. Philosophical insights. The concept of inner strength has been explored by many philosophers throughout history. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who emphasized the importance of focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. He believes that true power comes from within, and that we must cultivate resilience, confidence, and a sense of purpose, live a fulfilling and meaningful life. Epictetus teaches that we should only focus on what is within our control and accept what is not. This means letting go of the need to control others, perceptions, and reactions, and focusing on our own actions and choices. By cultivating inner power, we can overcome challenges with confidence and grace and live a life of authenticity and integrity. By cultivating inner power, we can escape the constraints of monotony and live a life of authenticity and integrity. This journey requires resilience, confidence, and a sense of purpose, but it leads with true freedom and fulfillment. Conclusion: embrace your inner power. The journey to stop being nice is a journey of self-discovery and self-growth. It involves understanding the roots of our conditioning, recognizing the cost of monotony, and embracing authenticity and assertiveness. By cultivating our inner strength, we empower ourselves to live a life of authenticity and integrity. This journey requires courage, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth. It involves facing our fears, challenging our beliefs, and accepting our true selves. But it leads to a life of true freedom and fulfillment, where we can live according to our values and aspirations. Remember, being kind is not bad. When it comes at the cost of our true selves, it becomes a prison, By accepting our inner strength and living authentically, we can break free from the constraints of mediocrity and live a life of purpose and fulfillment. Embrace your inner power and start living the life you truly deserve.